Warning. This video may contain graphic language, graphic violence, gross cartoon penises, and a whole lot of Pimpy the pimp-ass pimp showing motherfuckers what's up. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is going on out there, peeps? I don't know if people are paying attention to what looks like is starting to turn into a hurricane. It's Tropical Lee. What the news is not reporting, somebody else picked up on. And I don't know how true this is going to be because it's kind of hard to predict the future. But as I sit here in the chair and I talk to you, right now behind me, I don't know if you can pick it up on the microphone, is huge thunderous sounds. It's a monsoon season over here in California. So I live up in the mountains. Nevada's just right over on the other side. Sometimes what happens is the cold air from over on that side makes it over the mountain into this hot air, and it makes for some theatrical lightning storms. And right now the thunder's cracking about every minute, freaking my dogs out big time. But anyways, I wanted to bring something to your attention because this does look like it's going to turn into a perfect storm. And I just want to bring a heads up to all those people over there in the Gulf, as well as in Florida. So let's take a look, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. Many of you probably remember the movie The Perfect Storm. It was based on a true story. But you should hear the witnesses talk about what they were up against. These are real life witnesses that experienced the storm firsthand.
Tonight, tracking monster Hurricane Lee on the move in the Atlantic and the threats to the U.S. Hurricane Lee now a powerful Category 4 storm packing 150-mile-per-hour winds. Dangerous rip currents when we can expect them along the East Coast. Also severe storms in the Northeast. We're tracking it all. Good evening. If you live along the East Coast, you may already have an eye open for that monster Hurricane Lee. Its explosive growth from a Category 1 to a major Category 5 hurricane in just 12 hours yesterday has forecasters in awe. Now back down to a Category 4, Lee is the most powerful storm so far in the Atlantic hurricane season. At one point, driving wind gusts of 165 miles per hour. But it's Lee's potential path that has some folks on edge, expected to swing well past the U.S. mainland, but ready to deliver a calling card of dangerous surf conditions up and down the coast this coming week. But tonight, for 50 million people in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, from D.C. to Boston, the more immediate threat comes from severe thunderstorms and heavy downpours. Bill Cairns is here with the very latest. What are you seeing, Bill?
Well, good evening to you, Lester. And this is going to be a major hurricane for at least the next 5 days. And then it's going to slow down. And the big question is what happens about the middle of next week. So now the storm's at 13 miles per hour. It's going to miss all land areas over the next 5 days, just sending large waves to a lot of the islands in the Caribbean, the Bahamas, and eventually Florida. But sometime on Wednesday, it's going to take that turn to the north. If it's an earlier turn, our friends in Bermuda will have to deal with Lee. If it's a later turn, possibly up to the Canadian Maritimes. If it's a late turn, maybe even heading somewhere near the Northeast, possibly Maine or maybe Cape Cod. So that's kind of the big question as we head through the weekend. We've also been dealing with a lot of severe weather, 150,000 people without power. We've had damaging winds. We've had 2-inch large hail throughout the Northeast, and airport delays have been widespread from Washington, D.C. to New York, all the way up to Boston.
Okay, so that's what the news is reporting on Hurricane Lee. With that in mind, let's listen to what some of the people who witnessed the perfect storm.
No one ever thinks this is really like you could die. You know, you're going to have to tie yourself into the bunk or something like that. You hear stories like that all the time, but no one ever thinks they're going to die.
Greg Souza recalls the week the perfect storm took the lives of the fishermen on the Andrea Gale. The 6-man crew left out of Gloucester. Their last reported position was on October 28th.
It was very difficult with 3 storm systems coming together in a very odd, unusual way. You know, there were big seas. Apparently out there, literally 80 and 100-foot waves. Onshore here, the waves were as big as I've ever seen. My wife's brother was one of the guys on the Andrea Gale, Bobby Shafford. Ethel, who worked for me, my wife's mother, she was sort of like a den mother to those guys. You know, she knew them all.
The first time they knew the guys were in trouble was as the storm moved towards New England.
A regular came in and said, hey, has anyone heard from the Andrea Gale? It's been a couple days, huh? And Ethel had no idea.
The Coast Guard searched for her son and the crew for over a week, and the bar became a gathering place.
People would bring food just because people were hanging around hoping to hear some kind of news, you know. So there's a lot of family members. There are a lot of local family members.
Greg still keeps in touch with the families. 25 years later, the tragedy still haunts the town.
You heard what the man said. That's when not 1, not 2, but 3 storms collided and caused swells of 100 feet. Now, I can tell you this. I was in the Navy, and I was on the USS Carl Vinson. This is an aircraft carrier. When we were in the Aleutian Islands over there in Alaska, a storm came through. The swells were 40 to 60 feet. Even on an aircraft carrier, watching our boat get tossed around like a piece of paper was scary. I would seriously watch the front end of our boat shoot up from the waves, but what goes up must come down. Sometimes we would tilt so high, when we started to sink down in the other direction, the front end literally would point into the water. And it looked like we were just going to sink. It just looked like we were so heavy that we were just going to go right down into the water. And you can see the water coming up on board. I remember F-14 being washed overboard. Really, really scary to see. I'm on a VP board. We make everything visual for the crew to see on a board that's clear. I just draw out where we are in references to different places that they want to know about. And one time I remember the front end of the boat going down so far that I actually was smushed up against the VP board, which hangs off the roof. I was literally smashed against it, thinking to myself, good Lord, if this board broke, I'd fall forward into the dang glass that's on the bridge. So here I am on the captain's bridge, and the front end goes back up. And this went on and on. I know I didn't get seasick, but it's really terrifying to realize that there are waves out there that big. I really felt sorry for the rest of our battle crew. If I'm on an aircraft carrier, I can only imagine being on a fast frigate or a battleship. It's really scary stuff. But let's get back to what I was talking about, something that somebody pointed out. Not 1, not 2, but possibly 3 storms.
Okay, I'm gonna make this video, windy.com. You can track this yourself. Today is the 6th, I'm going Wednesday. Now let's go to Thursday. I want y'all to pay attention to something in real time. I want you to keep an eye on that sucker down there.
Lee is on the bottom right.
Evening, Thursday evening, Friday morning. I'm doing this off this tracker over here where my cursor is. See that? Friday. Watch.
I'm sorry, I said it was coming into the Gulf. That's not the case. It's on the, it's going to hit the east side of the United States.
Saturday the 9th, Saturday midday, Saturday evening. Just watch, guys. Sunday the 10th, Sunday midday, Sunday evening, early Monday morning the 11th. What's popping up? Midday Monday, evening, early morning Thursday the 12th. Midday Thursday, Thursday evening.
This is about a week from today.
13th on Wednesday. Y'all seeing this? 14th on Thursday. Are y'all seeing this? Thursday evening, early Friday morning, the 15th. Are y'all seeing this, right?
So this is Hurricane Lee. This is coming up from behind it. This storm is the 3rd one. He goes far enough to see the merger, but you can't, I don't believe you see this one merge in. Let's take a look.
Midday Friday on the 15th. Boom. And what does it have in its path? Now, where is that sumbitch named Lee? Right here. Where is Lee?
I'm right here.
All of these have conjoined to give you the...
If he would have went a little further, he would have saw this third one would have joined. The storm that's coming over to the East Coast, you guys, this isn't your normal storm. This is very similar to the one from the movie The Perfect Storm. If this tracker has any credibility to it, Lee had already built up to a Class 5 hurricane, is now slowing down a little bit, and is now at a Class 4. But if this cell comes in and this one comes in, it's going to whip it up again. And if these two merge together, it's going to be huge. And along with this third one, this is going to be the biggest hurricane to ever hit the United States.
The East Coast has ever seen. From Florida all the way up to New York. These storms have merged. So, for those that come in here to give me negative comments, I just proved to you in real time.
So that guy is keeping track of that storm on windy.com. Let's take a look at it now. So I hit the go button over here on windy.com. You can see he's right. Here comes the second storm right here. We're now into Monday. Lee's starting to grow. We're now on Tuesday the 12th. Wednesday the 13th. The 14th. The 15th. Now this is interesting because Lee is hitting the East Coast. This particular hurricane has curled and is now coming back around. This here is just a tiny storm. The third one I don't see unless this was the one that was coming up in that guy's video. Let's watch. The 16th coming up. See how it's already turning purplish? You are looking at 3 hurricanes back to back to back. Now in this tracker this time it didn't merge with these two. It went on. As you can see, it hits the East Coast and starts going into Canada. But these two right here have the potential to combine to make a huge hurricane. So it's going to be one hurricane after another. It looks like for you people over there on the East Coast. Just be careful. I know you guys have been through this before, but this one looks like a doozy. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.